to apply for that scholarship. And, while we miss David Logan truly, but what's been done in his name is just awesome.
Yep. There you see the hottest commodity right now. Those Bright House Sports Network towels are a huge hit. I thought nothing would ever replace the sunglasses, or at least make people forget about them temporarily, but these towels are certainly doing the trick.
Everybody loves to have that towel to wave now.
23-13. Atlantic has come out a little bit sluggish here in this first half. Jasmine Jenkins playing catch with Shantasia Howard. Back to Jenkins now. Keep in mind, no shot clock in high school basketball. Teams can take as much time as they want. Ronnie Williams on the deck. Trying to save face. Alexis Sneed took it to the rack, and she draws the foul. Bench didn't like it because Sienna Allen was right there.
Boy, Lakewood played a great defensive possession. The ball goes back and forth, and here's what happens. You lose your man after about 8 or 9 seconds, and bang, there's a foul, and it's just something that, as a coach, you really don't want to see that happen after working so hard to take the ball away.
Alexis Sneed, first free throw good. Mentioned her track involvement earlier in this game. She runs the 100-meter and the 200-meter, and get this, she's also a cheerleader. That look right there is not the look of a cheerleader.
No, she doesn't have a smile on her face. She's got that game face on today.
Eight-point game. Alvarado, the high score for Lakewood. She's got 12 points.
Lakewood doing a good job being very patient, running the flex offense. Atlantic switching back to his own now.
Let me ask you this. I touched on the shot clock earlier. Do you wish, as a former coach, one day that gets implemented in high school basketball?
No, I don't want to see it in high school because it forces too much play. I think the kids have to be more skilled. We missed that in high school. Now everything in the summer and travel ball is run up and down the floor, and whoever has the ball take it to the basket. We missed the pure form of the game.
Interesting.
And that's what John Wooden used to say. John Wooden, maybe the greatest coach of all time.
Alexis Ungro. That ball tipped out of bounds. Funny you mentioned Coach Wooden. Do you think a coach like that could coach the teams of today? Do you think his style would work?
Oh, I do. I watch UConn, and Gino is running the old 2-3 high post offense, a version of what UCLA used to run, that shuffle cut. And I watch it. They're killing people.
Ungro punches it inside. Woody kicks it out. Alvarado tees it up. And here comes Williams with the rebound. Boy, she gets out of the blocks fast, doesn't she? Attacking the rim, and it's going to be Lakewood basketball.
Boy, long strides with the dribble, and you just don't see a player at her size at 6'2", able to take the ball and get up and down the floor in like 2 or 3, 4 dribbles.
Stay tuned at halftime. A special story on Ronnie Williams. Our Despina Barton spent some time with her. We'll get to meet her up close and personal, as our official that time looked like he was in harm's way. Chris Bound trying to get out of the way.
He got caught. He got caught. He just didn't know which way to move. There wasn't just one player. There was 2 players coming at him. You know what they say, the official's part of the floor.
Yep. So inside a minute now to play in this first half. Lakewood has controlled most of this game.
Coach Tunsil's holding the ball out. She's going to probably play for the last second shot.
Sydney Hayward with the basketball, a role player and a floor general for the Spartans.
You keep your eye on Alvarado, run the baseline. They're trying to get her free.
She is back and forth right now. Lakewood's going to start going about right now. Ungro open and drills it.
That was an NBA three right there.
Alvarado comes up with a steal. Williams in front of her. She'll pull up. It is all Lakewood.
Wow. That is a momentum killer right there, back to back.
So the Spartans end the half with an exclamation. Tiana Alvarado had a shot earlier in the half blocked. This time she pulls up. And the Lakewood Spartans take a 28-15 lead into the half. When we come back to Lakewood halftime festivities, you're watching the Game of the Week on Bright House Sports Network. Back here at halftime at Lakewood High School, and hey, sports fans, what's the best way to keep up with the best in high school sports? All you got to do is like BHSN HD on Facebook. Bright House Sports Network is your home for high school sports. 28-15 is the score. Lakewood leading Atlantic. We've had a chance to watch Ronnie Williams, the star for Atlantic, play during the first half. She's got 5 points after one half of play. She's taken her game to the University of Florida. Our own Despina Barton had the chance to spend the day with her.
Williams has put Port Orange Atlantic High School on the basketball recruiting map. She started playing basketball at the age of 3 with the boys, and now standing 6'2", averages nearly 21 points and 13 rebounds. She's the top-ranked basketball recruit in the state, who will be taking her talent to the University of Florida next year.
I just felt like Florida was for me. I felt like I needed to go to Florida to bring things back home. I just don't think I should have to take my talents out of the state. I want to bring it here and start a new trend.
You know, as a coach, it's not often you get a talent like this. She's a special talent, and so, you know, I feel real honored as that to have her.
We got to attack the best, win 1-1, so what that mean?
Coach Butts has been coaching Williams since she was 12 years old and says her work ethic and time in the weight room has truly transformed her game.
You wouldn't know that she was the #1 player in the state of Florida unless you really sat her down and asked her about it. She's just like everybody else, but she's grown tremendously from since I saw her in the 7th grade, you know, as a young lady growing into a young woman.
I put in work, put in the time, dedicated, hard work. I'm not saying no one else works as hard as me, because I know there are others that work out there that works hard, but just my strive for it. I love it, love passion for it, you know, so I think I just love what I do.
That love has transcended to overall team success, and this year the Sharks look to draw blood each and every game.
She's played well this year, but there's another gear getting ready. She gets ready for playoff time, and it's kind of where you set apart the average player and then the player that can make it. Those type players step up to a whole nother level. So that's what we're looking to see now, and we're going to ride her right on into Lakewood.
I always say, do what you know how to do. You know, you see the Michael Jordans and the LeBron James. I want to be better than the Michael Jordans and the LeBron James, you know? Try to bring it to the women's side.
And she surely has gained national attention for her school, for her skills, and for her passion. There's much more to come from Ronnie Williams. I'm Despina Barton, Bright House Sports Network.
All right, Ronnie Williams up close. Our thanks to Despina Barton. And Tom, when you watch Williams in the first half, Lakewood's done a good job keeping her in check. Right now they lead by 13. What's the key to the second half?
Well, they really have done a good job in keeping the ball out of her hands, and she's made a lot of effort in transition down the middle of the floor. When she gets the rebound, leads it herself. I think Lakewood's got to come back and just continue to put that pressure on. I'm sure Coach Butts will make some adjustments at halftime and get her the ball down inside, hopefully down inside a little bit more.
Yeah, Ronnie Williams, such a threat going to the bucket and coming out of there with the rebound and just taking it herself. Tiana Alvarado has matched her, though. There you saw Williams getting the better of that exchange, but Alvarado has really given this entire Atlantic team a hard time.
Yeah, she's played really under control. Pick and choose their shots, didn't force anything, and that's been the key because they've been having a hard time keeping the ball out of her hands. Lakewood's been very patient.
That jumper looks really smooth tonight. Tiana Alvarado headed to Seton Hall. 28-15 is your score after one half of play. When we come back, we'll have highlights and stats, more halftime from Lakewood High School on the Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week. Well, it is one of the biggest days for a high school athlete. Join Bright House Sports Network for National Signing Day 2013. That's Wednesday, February 6th. We've got live hourly updates at the top of every hour starting at 6 a.m. Bright House Sports Network is your home for high school sports. Alongside Tom Mosca, I'm Drew Felios. Lakewood doing a great job at home tonight as they are putting it on the visiting team Atlantic, leading by 13. Let's take a look at some of the halftime stats. Tom, what are some of the numbers that stick out?
Well, you look at the score, and Atlantic had the ball the last possession, came down and turned it over. They were down 8. If they score, they can cut it to 6 or maybe 5. Instead, Alvarado steals the ball, dribbles down, nails the shot, and Ungro hit the 3. Now you're down 13 instead of maybe 6 or 5, and that's a big momentum changer.
Yeah, it was definitely a flurry at the end of that first half. So Alvarado kind of stealing the show. It's Seton Hall against the University of Florida. Key stat also I noticed, Lakewood has not been to the free throw line one time. Could that be a factor as we go along here tonight?
That can be a factor down the stretch. Lakewood's offense has been all perimeter. They're looking for Alvarado in the corners if they can. And like at some point in time, they got to take the ball to the basket and get fouled.
All right, when we come back the second half, can Atlantic get back into this basketball game? We will see. Half number 2 coming up next on BHSN.
The Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week is presented by Subway Restaurants. Stop by Subway this January for the new Safeway Turkey and Bacon Melt today. Subway, eat fresh.
Well, that is St. Pete Beach as the sun sets here in Pinellas County. So much going on around the Tampa Bay area today when you talk about the opening night for the Tampa Bay Lightning in downtown Tampa, also the Gasparilla Children's Parade. Here it's all basketball. Take a look at some of the numbers. After one half of play, Ronnie Williams, the leading scorer for Atlantic, Alvarado for Lakewood.
Well, as you mentioned, Alvarado has really stolen the show from the number 1 player in Florida. But it's just great to see Division I players going head-to-head. And sometimes you have an off night, and you just got to play through it. There's a lot of basketball still to go in the second half.
Very impressive first half. Alvarado averaging 24 points per game. So she is right at her average right now, 12 after one half of play. Alongside former Jefferson girls basketball coach Tom Mosca, also fresh off being an assistant coach at Air Force. I'm Drew Felios. Great to have you with us tonight. Girls high school basketball on Bright House Sports Network as we kind of get you ready for the state championships at the Lakeland Center. 8 straight basketball games are going to bring right into your living room at the end of February. Nothing like
March Madness. It's all about March Madness. Beautiful stuff.
Try and punch it to Williams, and a little bit too far on the pass for D. Gillard, and Williams just kind of gave Gillard that look.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? And that's what the coaches like, the competitiveness in a player like that. And, a good teammate says, hey, I know, I'll get it next time, and you can see that.
There's George Butts. He actually started his athletic career as a football player. Loved the gridiron. Never really saw himself as a basketball coach, but Cliff Reed, former Bethune-Cookman head basketball coach, took Mr. Butts under his wing really taught him the game, got him exposed to it. The rest was history as Alvarado has not cooled down since half.
She just, no fear, just took it right in Ronnie Williams' face with a little runner. Williams has got Alvarado posted up.
Williams inside.
There it is.
Nicely done, reverse layup. That is there all night.
Yeah, and the key is get above the block where you got a little bit of room down there to work.
Ungro in and out with the rebound is Woody. She had it stolen. Here comes Williams. 3-on-1. Passing right now, not very crisp for Atlantic. That shot too strong. And a foul's going to be called on Williams.
Unnecessary foul right there. You're coming down. Don't try to steal the ball. Stay away from the player with the ball. And don't get caught in that situation where you just foul.
Coach Tunsil, a lot of questions. Will she ever coach at the next level in college? You got to think after playing days at Iowa and playing for Vivian Stringer that if she wanted to make that jump after winning a state title, Tom, she maybe could.
She could, but you know, she really loves her job here and at this level. She loves her role and taking kids and bringing the best out of them and giving them an opportunity to get a scholarship and make something.
And I'm sure she could probably take some of your advice on whether to make that jump or not. What do you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a different game. You have to be, you have to be willing to make a lot of sacrifices, and sometimes you have to move. There's Nicole's highlights there as a career at Iowa, and one of the things, career points 1,283. One of our assistant coaches at Air Force last year, Stephanie Schuler, was her point guard, and so Stephanie knows where Nicole get all her points.
Ronnie Williams, first free throw a little bit long. You look at All-American, first team All-Big Ten. That's big time stuff right there.
That you're being honored as one of the best players in America. It just doesn't get any better than that.
0 for 2 from the line on that trip for Williams. Ungro right down the middle. Took it right at Williams. Allen came away with it. Out to Swinton. Atlantic now trying to run. A little bit sloppy here by both teams. Three-pointer. Destiny Woodard came up short. That was a long shot. Alvarado says, I'll take one, and hit one.
Well, she is lighting it up tonight.
"17 points for Tiana Alvarado.
Ronnie Williams looks tired down there. They're double teaming her. She's pointing to where she wants the ball, but her teammates don't see her.
Destiny Woodard with the runner. Right now it's a 14-point game, but you just don't get the sense that Atlantic is getting good quality minutes here.
Yeah, they can't get any momentum going here. Can't seem to make 2 plays in a row.
Alvarado. Williams high up for the rebound. Here come the Sharks. I may have spoken too soon. On the break, bad pass.
Woodard needs to take it in. Take it, use your left hand. And that's what we were talking about earlier, the skill set. You got to have a left hand. Get in there and use that left hand.
Plays like that will drive George Butts crazy. But he has done a great job with the Atlantic program. When he came to Atlantic 18 years ago, the team was 2-20. His first year, they went 19-11. And then the year after that, his second year, they made a Final Four trip. And Sienna Allen scored.
Coach Butts brings that football competitiveness. Translates it over to the basketball court. Coaching is coaching. Sports are sports.
Right now, though, you see the look of frustration. They trail by 16. It has been all Lakewood.
Boy, there's Ungro. Makes a great pass inside. Wide open Allen. She came off a setting a screen, just roll back down. There she is. Perfect.
Log on to BHSN.com for the Athlete of the Week. Each week, Bright House Sports Network honors a student that excels on and off the field. The Athlete of the Week on BHSN.com. Bright House Sports Network is your home for high school sports. Got to mention, last night, Lakewood lost by 4 to a Jones High School team that was basically, Tom, sent home. There was a melee during the game. Somebody came out of the stands, had contact with Tiana Alvarado. So Jones no longer here. That videotape right now is going to be sent to the FHSAA. Interesting point also about that game. Jones had to play with 4 players at one point, and then they eventually played with 3 players because of foul trouble, and they still won the game.
The game says you have to start with 5, but it says you doesn't have to finish with 5. The rules say if you have 3, you play with 3. Every once in a while, a great once in a while, there'll be a situation where a team will have 3 players and maybe even 2 and still wind up winning the game. But the results of that little melee last night could cause a lot of suspensions. They'll have to wait and see what happens.
Atlantic is going to need a rally here. Ronnie Williams, baseline. That's nice one way to start.
Nice baseline shot. Took it to her left, Drew. Pulled up, under control, knocked it down from about 10 feet.
Let's see if Atlantic can dig in here defensively. Alexis Ungro had a nice game for the Spartans. Bad play that time off the side of the glass. Atlantic with 6 losses on the year. They don't want to make that 7. Williams, same shot, in and out that time.
That's just a result maybe being a little tired. I've been watching Ronnie up and down the floor. She's laboring a little bit. They're wearing her down.
And a traveling call.
Yeah, right to left, take that step.
Oh, there you see the team colors, Lakewood in pink and the fluorescent
Oregon shoes.
Oregon shoes also. Kind of the same color as my highlighter here at the scorer's table. Atlantic wearing the all white tonight. This is the Lakewood Breast Cancer Shootout, a tremendous event that I can imagine, Tom, all the work that goes into putting on a showdown like this.
This has been 2 nights, 4 games each of the last 2 days. You have to understand how many people it takes behind the scenes to do all this, starting with ticket takers, starting with the scorekeeper, the clock operator, all the things that go into that. And then as the coach, you're running the whole show. And then you got to go coach. And you got to trust these people will get it done. And Coach Tunsil's done a great job with it.
Williams splits the defense, just left it short. Oh, she wanted that one to go down. 3-on-2 now for Lakewood. Ungro attacks the rim again. Howard comes up with it. But a bad pass, and it'll go to Lakewood. Boy, I'll tell you what, I love the way Ungro, she's just smooth out there and really knows how to attack the glass.
And she used her left that time. She went to the left side, tried to make the move around the defender and lay it in. But boy, what transition. Up the floor, down the floor, up the floor.
Alexis Ungro being recruited, Tom, by Chicago State, Tennessee State, and Troy. So she's got a very good shot to play college basketball.
I'm sure she'll land at one of those schools and she'll do very well.
Alvarado, pull up from the elbow, drills it, 19 points.
Boy, off the dribble, pull up under control, nice touch. Those are all the things you look for in a player, especially in a shooter coming off the dribble.
She has had some kind of night. Williams spins, a little bit off balance. Those are the shots that Lakewood wants her to take, fading away like that. Alvarado again. Shantasia Howard, one-on-one, able to draw a foul on Deja Swinton.
That
Bright House Sports Network wants to help you pay for college. Learn more about the David Logan Scholarship on BHSN.com. If you excel in athletics and academics, apply now for the Logan Scholarship online at BHSN.com.
That was an example right there. She took the ball to the basket, strong with the left hand, didn't back down, drew the foul. You go to the foul line, get your chance to knock down 2. I just get the feeling, Drew, that Atlantic just can't seem to get into an offensive rhythm. Lakewood is trying to, they're cheating and doubling to Ronnie Williams every time. She doesn't have a lot of room to move.
The lead is 15 for Lakewood. Very comfortable right now for the Spartans. Ungro doesn't hesitate. That shot is off. Robinson rebounds. Atlantic came here last year and really put it on Lakewood. Today it's been a completely different story. Sydney Hayward now in the game for the Spartans. Lakewood, a very guard-oriented team, not very big, and they have caused Atlantic all kinds of problems tonight.
And Atlantic has just switched up to the zone last minute of the quarter. Lakewood looks like they may just no, they're not. I thought they would hold it out a little bit longer than that, but bad take to the